Hey guys, this is Will here with another install video. Merry Christmas. I finally decided to go ahead and get started on my Works Bell short hub and GTC tilt install. I've been dreading this for a long time. I've been looking around online for either other guides or other people have done it before, and literally there's only been like 3 people that have done this, but they never released a video. So in this video, I actually don't have any videos. My GoPro died, so what I did was I took pictures, each of the steps that I took to finish my install. I'll go through which way is wrong, which way is right. Make sure you listen to my commentary. I did put some subtitling in, but my commentary is the best there is for the install. So the first thing I did was I disconnected the positive terminal, and then I let it sit for maybe 2 minutes before I started working on it. I went to get my screwdriver to use the T30 bit to unscrew the left and right side of the steering wheel where the airbag goes. The right side was a little problematic because it kept hitting the volume button, but just take your time on it. Once the airbag is loose, pull it towards you, flip it to the left upside down. You will see these 2 yellow plugs in the middle and also the ground wire on the top left corner or top right corner, depending where you see it. The 2 tabs on the side, use a pick tool to lift them to unplug from the middle. Use the same pick tool you use for the switches. Depress down the middle of this bracket where the hole is. Once you push it down, you should be able to remove it off the airbag easily. For the middle bolt, do not use an impact gun. I repeat, do not use an impact gun. Use a 1/2-inch driver with a 10mm hex bit and take your time on this bolt. There is Loctite on it. Make sure your grip where the bolt is solid, and then use the other hand to turn the actual breaker bar. Once the bolt is out, gently hold the left and right side of the steering wheel and pull it straight in front of you to pull out. Make sure you do not turn while you're pulling out, otherwise the centering hole will be wrong. With the steering wheel out, this is when you take your time to slowly take it apart. Take the 4 bolts out and then flip it around. Use a pry tool and pry all along the edges to pull out the plastic back cover. On the front, make sure you slowly go around the silver trim to pop it out. And once you pop everything out slowly, it should look just like this. Nothing broken. On the back of the steering wheel, there's these 2 little tiny holes next to the suede. You just punch them through with a pin and your controllers will come off. But make sure you take off the harness first before you do this. First issue I ran into was using the short Boss hub. It came screwed in already, the black bolts around the hub. You actually don't need the top of the hub. You just need the bottom section. So unscrew those 6 black bolts and then put the hat or the top aside along with the bolts. This had me scratching my head for a good solid 30 minutes trying to get this to work. The Works Bell SRD kit comes with this black metal ring, which does not need to be screwed in just yet. Just place this over the steering wheel hub and just sit it there for now. The other piece is this black molding trim, which has ridges on it. This actually presses into the back of the metal ring for the centering hub. So once you put them together, it should look just like this. The controller's harness has a black cable for grounding, which you can screw into top left of this metal black ring. In this picture diagram here, you will thread through the left and right controllers where the little opening is on the side of the black metal hub. Once you thread the controllers through it, you will take the plastic backing, which is the one with the ridges on it, that actually pushes into the back of the metal ring. That way it holds in the wire while it's there. Go ahead and grab your left and right controllers and plug them into these slots right here. Use the backing piece and the 4 screws to screw them in. Please also be very careful on how much pressure you put into screwing these in. These pieces are actually 3D printed, and I wasn't sure how strong they would be to screw in, so I just tightened them just enough force without breaking it. One thing I gotta mention is when you're screwing these controllers in, they are angled and you can't tighten them too much. So I would say install the top screw with a few turns and then install the bottom screw with a few turns. I had trouble trying to get these to fit on the left and right side. You had to actually stretch one of the sides a little bit more to get them in. So that's why I recommend you just screwing them in just a little bit, just to get them threaded. Otherwise, it's not gonna fit. All right, guys, so these are the 2 airbag cancelers, the ones in red with the metal prongs exposed. The metal prongs can only be bent a certain direction. You must bend them 90-degree angle and take those and plug them into the airbag harness. Once you plug in the airbag cancelers into the harness, it should look just like this. Also, ignore the short boss top that's currently installed. That was a wrong item installed, so please ignore that. To keep the prongs from coming out of the harness, use some electrical tape and tape them in. Once you finish installing the side controls, locate the horn extension cable. It's a red cable with a one-way plug in to the black cable horn, and there's only one way out. After you get that installed, you're going to locate the top bolt or top hat of the SRD kit. It's going to be a ring with a half cut on top. You will thread the horn extension cable through it while you use the top and you screw in 5 bolts. And that will hold the centering hub where the controls go to the actual short boss of the bottom hub. Then when you finish that, depending on which hub you use, either use a short hub or use a standard hub, there's a top plastic trim that will sit firmly over the existing hole. If you follow along with me during the whole install, this should be the final look of the SRD kit being installed with the short boss hub. The only thing sticking out of the hub should only be the extension for the horn. The airbag cancelers that's been taped together should be neatly inside the hub, along with the 2 side controller cables tucked into the hub as well. Now let's go ahead and tackle the Bell GTC tilt. The instructions were all in Japanese, and unfortunately Google Translate did not help me with it at all. There are some diagrams for the wiring. The diagrams were pretty clear. However, when I wired everything up according to the diagrams, it left me with a horn that was always on. So we had to do a couple different things to make it stop. Alright guys, so when you unbox your GTC tilt, the bottom of the tilt will have 2 blue wires. One blue turns to red, which plugs into your horn extension. The other blue turns to black, which plugs into this metal ring for the ground. Do not use this metal ring. When you follow the directions from the diagrams and you use both of the rings, you actually ground the wire twice, and when you plug your battery back in, your horn stays on the entire time. So do not use this metal ring for this part right here. Only plug the red wire in to the horn extension, leave the black wire blank, and just stuff it into the hub itself. You're going to use enclosed 6 screws to screw in the GTC tilt to the hub while you push in the wires that you connected. Now for me, I bought some black titanium bolts from Dress Up Bolts because I wanted everything to be black. You know, it's a pain in the butt to screw in these Allen keys on top of the tilt. So what I found out you could do is you can actually plug in your Allen key through the top of the tilt and actually reach the screw. I never knew that before. It's crazy. So the last issue that came up with was the GTC tilt came with the metal ring for the grounding. So you basically put the grounding disc between the hub and your steering wheel, which should look like this. You would think it's a simple solution. You plug the black cable into the metal piece that's poking out for the grounding, and then the red one into the horn button. Well, when I did that, it didn't work. Every time I pressed it, nothing happens. And yes, at this point, I plugged the battery in, so it should be beeping every time I pressed the horn down, but it wasn't. So scratching my head for the next 20 minutes, I was figuring out what I did wrong. I already removed the first ring so that it wasn't grounded twice, and we only used this one to ground this one. So I reached out to my friend Israel, who's in South Florida, who has already done this install, and he sent me this picture, which did help me quite a bit. He pre-installed the horn, and he also pre-installed the disc before he screwed it on to the tilt. He pulled out the bottom spring to slip in the metal prong for the grounding, which I am assuming what happened is that when you're pressing the horn button, it wasn't touching the metal ring to actually activate the horn. So that's what I went ahead and did. Special thanks to Dade County FK8, aka Israel. Thank you, bro, for helping me out with the horn situation. If anybody's in the South Florida area in Davie that needs a reputable service advisor, please make sure you go to Rick Case Honda and talk to Israel for all your needs. Also, special thanks to Kodawari.fk8, aka Chris, our legendary Veris Type R build on the East Coast. Thank you, Chris, for letting me borrow your hex bit and the half-inch drive breaker bar to do my install. And also thank you for assisting me with figuring out why my horn was stuck on and the fact that we didn't need 2 grounds for the install. So thank you for that. So this doesn't bug me as much, but it might bug others. I'm using the Spoon steering wheel, which is a 340 millimeter steering wheel, along with a short boss hub. When you use the tilt and you tilt up, the top of the steering wheel does touch the visor gauge top, just a little bit. If you are planning on using a smaller steering wheel, like a 330, it shouldn't touch. Or if you plan on using the standard boss hub, it does push the steering column out by another ½ an inch, so it shouldn't touch at all. Thank you for watching my video to the end, guys. If this video helped you out, please do me a favor and subscribe and comment below on how well I did. This is my first time making an install video guide, so hopefully I did okay, and hopefully you guys were able to complete your install. However, if you have any questions, I don't mind answering questions on IG. I do recommend you watching the entire video prior to your install, just so that you know what steps you have to do next. If you listen to everything I said in the video, you should not have any problem with your install. The only thing that might have an issue is the horn button. So it just depends on what steering wheel or what horn you're using. Make sure the horn is about the same or close to what my horn looks like, and make sure you press your horn button to see if it contacts or not. Good luck on everybody's install. Hope you are successful. This is Will. I'll see you in the next video.